Yes, I think what Teixeira has done and is amazing in the sport at his age, and I think Andrei Arlovski also had a key in his career last weekend, and I'm very happy for both because they're both from the original fibers of the sport. They're the OG, and it's great to see them still having success at this point in their career.
And so obviously Dana came out afterwards and said that Teixeira did make a pretty good case now about having that next title shot. But obviously we got Izzy, and then we got what do you think should be happening right now? Like in I guess the light heavyweight, and I guess it even goes as far as to say in the heavyweight division, because we got the same thing there, right? Like you've got Francis that has been off at the Stipe fight, but now Jones has moved up, and he kind of feels like I should jump in. Like what do you think should be happening there?
Man, I feel like there's some great matchups to be made. I'm real excited, and kudos to the matchmaker Mick Maynard, because he's definitely made those divisions super exciting, and definitely got us talking about what the next steps are. Light heavyweight wrestling, right? Because Izzy has been winning at middleweight. You can kind of make a case for him having the opportunity for that kind of super fight, where forgive me if I pronounce his name wrong. Blachowicz John, he just won the belt. So you're kind of wondering, like, does he defend a couple times before he kind of does this super fight type scenario? Or do you do Izzy and Blachowicz now? You said John Jones is on the wings here. Maybe if Stipe isn't going to fight soon, maybe we do Ngannou and Jones. And then the winner of that gets Stipe if Stipe's out for a minute. But either way, as a fan, I think it's amazing. I think the UFC's done a great job of keeping those divisions, going strong, and a lot of excitement there. There's a lot. And 205's got some really good prospects right now coming up in the game, and it's really exciting to see.
See, it's interesting because Robert Whittaker's also come out and said, I never said I didn't want to have that fight against Izzy. He just said the timing of it, like he just said he wants to have Christmas now with his family and then obviously go March. But he's come out quite verbally now and said, listen, I didn't say I didn't want that fight. I'll even go up to light heavyweight to fight Izzy again. So, in my eyes right now, I would, in the perfect world, I would say I would like to see Francis get his shot against Stipe. I think that Teixeira, considering the age and considering now the streak that he's on, I would like to see him get a shot against Jan. And I think Izzy should either take the Robert Whittaker fight, or, I mean, at the end of the day, what are we all like beating around the bush for? You go Teixeira versus Jan, you go Stipe versus DC, and you go Jones versus Izzy. That's the fight that, I mean, at the end of the day, we're dancing around that fight, right? Izzy's going up to Jan. Well, it is. It's Izzy's going up to Jan to get closer to Jones. Jones has only just left it, and he also made that comment when Jan won, oh, should I go get my belt back? So that Jones could potentially go back to light heavyweight. Like, it's like, why are we dancing for? Let light heavyweight and the heavyweights figure it out, and let's just do the super fight now. Why wait,
Right. No, you're right. That's true. That's a good point. It's definitely a fight I want to see. I'd love to see Izzy and Jones go at it. I think that's such a great matchup.
And the only I guess dispute you'll have on that is that they'll want to put a title to it, whether it's at light heavyweight or heavyweight. And I guess Izzy will say also, we don't want to do that fight until next year because we want live crowds. But even on the live crowds thing, I was thinking, how cool would it be? I just don't know if Jones would agree to it. But how cool would it be that they do that fight in Auckland? Because in New Zealand, they've got live crowds now, right? Because New Zealand have got 0 cases. Yep. You could actually do a full, I just don't know if Jones would travel all the way to New Zealand, but you could actually do Izzy and Jones in front of a live audience in New Zealand, which means you would be flying back over this way, because I'm sure you'll get a fighter on there somehow.
Yes.
But why not, right? Like, honestly, like I'm just sick of people jumping the queue and stuff like that. As I said, I think Francis deserves it. I think Teixeira deserves it, and I just want to see that super fight. Because the other thing that happens is, what if Jones loses, or what if Izzy loses? Like, I mean, there's always that possibility, right? So if they lose, then all of a sudden that super fight isn't as appealing as it is right now. Like it's just that's the
Yeah,
fight
you
to
kind
make.
of have to strike while the iron's hot. Yeah,